You don't need this, you don't need that, and in fact I would say that you don't need any of these books. And personally I would also say that you don't need any online courses like Target Test Prep or Magoosh. Preparing for the GMAT can seem overwhelming with the sheer volume of study materials available online and in physical form, but guess what? You don't need to break the bank to achieve a high score. And in this video I will tell you all about the various resources I have used for efficient self-study, and I will explain why I think you likely don't need books or tutoring and what you should do instead. I'll provide you with my essentials that I use to obtain a 760 score in order of usefulness. In very short, this video could be summarized in the following. You're going to need a lot of exercises with explanations, mock tests, and a big stack of your own personal notes. But please do watch the whole video to learn more about the links and other resources that you can also use to complement your studies. First and foremost, your own notes are your most valuable study material. The GMAT Focus tests a wide range of subjects and everyone has their own personal blind spots. So as you encounter problems, especially ones you cannot solve immediately, make detailed notes. Try generalizing the problem and outline a step-by-step plan to solve similar questions in the future. Over time, this will help you build a thick personal guide of tricks that you can use to approach certain types of questions. In order to do this well, make sure to keep very careful track of your mistakes and to update your notebook every once in a while as you progress. To make the most out of your notes, you will need quality exercises. And when I started my GMAT journey, I made the mistake of thinking that I needed to buy GMAT books in order to get access to quality GMAT questions. And I didn't even care about the theory that makes up the biggest part of these books. Before you also start spending money or wasting money on GMAT books, know that GMAT Club also offers a database with all of the free GMAT exercises ever created for free. Once you create an account, you have access to a comprehensive table of contents to filter exercises by type and difficulty level. These come with expert explanations giving you insights into their underlying theory at no cost. Here you can see what the GMAT Question Navigator looks like, and the great benefit of using the GMAT Club questions is that all of them have been explained by multiple GMAT masters. This is crucial because this allows you to learn the general tricks behind questions that you struggle with. At the end of this video, I will also provide you with my more detailed advice on how to use the GMAT Club Navigator and how you can also access it. Having access to all possible GMAT questions is great, but they don't simulate the test environment closely enough. Therefore, quality mock tests are as essential as good practice questions. GMAC, the publisher of the GMAT Focus, offers 2 free mock tests that are ideal for an initial baseline and a final preparatory test. You could also decide to buy additional mock tests which are of amazing quality, but they do lack a little bit in detail in the analysis features in my opinion. An option that does satisfy all analysis needs for mock tests are the Manhattan Prep mock tests. However, I do have to bring the unfortunate news that you cannot buy these separately, as the less useful books are also included in the package deal. A benefit of the Manhattan mock test is that you can also take the mock test multiple times due to the adaptive nature of the GMAT Focus. To explain myself a little bit better, if you performed relatively poorly the first time you took a Manhattan mock test, the second time you take it and you perform a lot better, it will seem as if you took a different mock test because the second time you will only encounter higher level questions. My final advice on mock tests is that there are also free mock test options available provided by course providers such as eGMAT and GMAT Club, but also keep in mind that other parties such as universities sometimes offer mock tests for free. An example is my home university, HEC Paris, and you can find the links in the description to get access to these mock tests, but also don't shy away from trying to find mock tests yourself. For the theory of all of the GMAT tricks that you will undoubtedly need, YouTube is an amazing treasure trove of free, high-quality GMAT explanation videos. Channels like GMAT Ninja and Wizako GMAT Prep provide valuable content from live mock test solving to theory explanations and test-taking strategies. Personally, I greatly benefited from the playlist GMAT Ninja made on quant and verbal, and they also added one for data insights, so go check them out. However, be mindful that some older videos might cover outdated content that sometimes still include geometry or sentence correction, but most still offer invaluable theory and explanations. If you're struggling with a specific issue, a quick YouTube search can often yield helpful results. For example, try it yourself in a search bar by typing something like even old GMAT explanation video, and you will find multiple free explanation videos of high quality that can really help you learn advanced GMAT tricks in no time. Okay, so now in this part, I will come with a hot take on things that I think you don't need. While GMAT books, online courses and private tutoring can be helpful for the types of students you can see listed on the screen right now, they often come with such significant price tags that in my opinion they don't add much value for the vast majority of students out there. GMAT books provide far too basic theory and practice questions that you already know, at least the basics you already know from high school and university, and the questions you can find online. It is my conviction that the GMAT Club Database, with all of its questions and explanations that I will show you how to use later in this video, provides you with better questions and explanations for free. Online courses like those from Magoosh and Target Test Prep offer structured learning, but are not necessary for most people that can plan independently somewhat decently. They offer explanation videos and practice questions, but as I have mentioned throughout this video, most of the things you end up paying for are freely available anyways and are more plentiful available on the internet. A short word on private tutoring. This is by far the most expensive option and should be considered only if you're completely stuck or if you're under severe time pressure. For example, you need to apply in 2 or 3 weeks and need really good results ASAP. In any other circumstance, I would not recommend it, as it also doesn't guarantee you any success. We haven't arrived at the end of this video yet, but to make things clear, I quickly wanted to sum up what we have discussed so far. So first, 80% of your studies is making very good notes. Generalize the explanation of every question you got wrong and find out why you got it wrong. Second, use the GMAT Club Database for all of the exercises you will ever need, and if you use it well, that's an important one. This is also a great resource for theory, and I will explain you in a minute how you can make optimal use of the GMAT Club Database. Third, use YouTube for quality explanations on specific subjects to learn the theory if you struggle with specific topics or subjects. If you have a decent base in high school and university mathematics, you won't need any simple GMAT books like the original guide or Kaplan study books. Perhaps as a starting point, but I would consider this as mostly unnecessary. Then lastly, courses are expensive and add little extra value. As I mentioned earlier, this is kind of a hot take. So now let's dive in to how I used the GMAT Club Database to obtain a 99th percentile score, like everything with difficulty levels. So I already put the link ready here so we can get to it faster. Once we land on the welcoming page of the link, for most people, if you haven't made an account on GMAT Club yet, you'll have to register first. This is completely for free, so don't worry about any subscriptions or paid for services. They do offer paid for stuff as well, but this navigator is completely for free to use. Here you can see the various sections, and also down here, these three with the data sufficiency make up data insights, then critical reasoning and reading comprehension make up verbal, and then problem solving makes up the quant section for the GMAT focus. So there are also older questions here that are not part of the GMAT focus that used to be part of the older GMAT. As you can see here, the sentence correction, you won't have to study anything for this if you're taking the GMAT focus, and that also is true for the geometry filter. So you want to avoid using that filter because then you'll get geometry questions that you don't need for the GMAT focus. Now let's just give you an example of what it would look like if you select a few subsets of problem solving with difficulty level at 605 to 655. So you select these filters, as you could see how I just did that. Then you scroll down to go for search. This will bring you to a new page where you can see all of the GMAT questions ever created that are relevant for your criteria, your search criteria. So here you can see that there are 10 pages of this many questions. There are a lot, as you can see, and created by different authors from different sources. You could also select for the source to see if there is maybe Kaplan, Magoosh. Some also include the original guide. Let's just give you an example of what this would look like for one that has a lot of kudos. So this GMAT question is the following. As you can see, the format or the layout is the same for all of the GMAT questions. You have a GMAT timer that you can set if you want to start working on the problem. Of course, you have answer options. If you think you know the answer, then you can click on one of the options here. We see we guessed it correct this time. This will be added to your error log also if you get questions wrong, which is very convenient to see which problems you struggle with most. Perhaps you took a lot of time with the GMAT timer, like more than 3 minutes, requires a lot of extra studying or reviewing, even if you got the question wrong. Then if you got the questions wrong or you took too much time, you can see whether there are useful answers or explanations that can help you learn the theory and to approach similar questions next time, to add this to your notebook. You can also see other people's explanations to compare different approaches to the question. This is very useful if you don't like the first one, the most popular one, and you want to see if there's another approach that maybe resonates more with you. Then you can go back to other questions and you can make multiple of them. I recommend just playing around with the GMAT Club Navigator. I also still want to stress one last time how useful I think the GMAT Ninja playlists are. You can see them here right now on the screen, and I would recommend you watch these highlighted playlists before or at the beginning of your GMAT journey, as they really provide you with the fundamentals to approach GMAT questions effectively. And if I haven't said it enough already, you won't need any books because these resources really fulfill the same kind of purpose. Now I can imagine that you are a bit stressed and don't really know where to start, and you might even be considering buying a course or booking an expensive consultancy session. I would strongly discourage this because studying for the GMAT Focus is not that complicated as long as you have a bit of guidance. So to help you get that guidance, I've written 3 articles that guide you from the beginning phase before you start studying until the very last moment of taking the actual test. Everything is completely for free, and I'm not affiliated to any book or course provider, so you can rest assured that this is unbiased advice. I also wrote an article about the exact subject of today, namely GMAT study materials. And to get all of the links to the resources I've mentioned, you can go to the article via the link in the description. And I also just think it's most useful to have this information in text instead of in video format, like this video on YouTube. So go check it out. This brings me to the end of this video. Please like and subscribe if this has been useful for you, and drop all of the questions you have below in the comments. I'll make sure to respond to them. Thank you for watching, and till the next one.